Hi, I'm Dirk Thormandl. I'm a hobby musician and amateur composer. In fact, the music you can hear in the background is music I created in early 2020. My musical vision is music that connects emotionally and speaks a language that expresses the wide range of human emotions. My goal is to compose interesting, engaging, complex and non-trivial music that does not require a degree in music theory in order to be accessible. My music has its roots in the classical and romantic period, with modern twists. I don't care about stylistic purity or adhering to music theory and form. My final product is usually a musical score. A score that is pretty, is playable by experienced players, and expressive and detailed enough to allow a computer to render it believably. So, how do we get from nothing to this? Usually I develop musical ideas on the piano and enter them directly into the notation software Dorico. However, in this particular YouTube playlist, all pieces have been composed using artificial intelligence as inspiration. In this video, I'm going to explain my process that begins with artificial intelligence as idea generator up to the final composition as a score. Follow me. The journey starts with creating several musical ideas and fragments using MuseNet. The quality of the ideas depend largely on the artistic vision and instinct of the human composer guiding the AI. Without strong guidance, MuseNet often gets stuck or runs in cycles and repeats itself. The ideas get saved as MIDI files. The next step is to create the overall musical structure of the piece by combining the musical fragments together. This is done in a so-called digital audio workstation software, or DAW, here Reaper. Most edits are done on the level of blocks of music, lesser on individual notes. A lot of bug fixing is necessary because MuseNet makes mistakes. The reason is that MuseNet has no explicit musical knowledge. It learned to compose solely from examples. This is interesting, and it's comparable to a very talented child that taught itself to improvise music without any theoretical knowledge. Creating a score is challenging for the very same reason. MuseNet's output is heavily humanized. It has imprecise rhythm and overlapping notes, whereas a score needs to place each note on an exact grid. I use several tools that make the rhythm more consistent, but they often fail. In those cases, I rely on human transcribers on Fiverr.com, who create a rough score. Creating the initial score is mechanical and tedious. No artistic decisions are made, just reproducing the music as score. This is why I tend to outsource it. The last step is the most time-consuming part in the entire process. It is the artistically most gratifying part, where I make the music truly mine. Starting from the rough score, I usually spend many weeks composing the final piece in notation software, here Dorico. I compose additional music and create a coherent musical story with intro, finale, multiple musical themes and variations, and bridges between them. A lot of polishing and fine-tuning is necessary to create a professional-looking score. Generous use of dynamics and articulations allow for a believable rendering of the music as a video with rolling score that then often gets posted on YouTube. MuseNet was created by Christine Payne at OpenAI and published in April 2019. MuseNet was not explicitly programmed with expert knowledge about music and composing, but instead discovered patterns of harmony, rhythm, and style from hundreds of thousands of music files. MuseNet uses GPT-2, or Generative Pre-trained Transformer 2, a generative deep neural network model trained to predict the next token in the sequence, or here, the next note or chord. Using MuseNet is fairly easy and does not require technical knowledge. First, click on Show Advanced Settings. Under Styles, there are several composers or genres available that bias the network towards a particular style. You can switch style anytime. There are several instrument choices. Please note that the network uses them to bias the probabilities of the next note and instrument, but there is no guarantee that it will pick it, especially with odd combinations such as Beethoven and drums, where there is no training data. The number of tokens that get predicted by the network can be adjusted, but the default is usually fine. Intro is an important setting, as it allows determining the initial sequence. There are several popular music pieces available whose first few notes can get used to seed the composition. Or you can upload a short custom MIDI file with your own music. The option I use most of the time is None, where it starts with a random fragment, which can lead to very interesting outcomes. Alright, let's give it a shot and start with a random piano piece in Chopin style by clicking on Start. A few seconds later, MuseNet will propose 4 short fragments. Listen to them and pick your favorite or start over again. Click on the right arrow and MuseNet will propose 4 fragments that continue your pick. Please note that the background music is different from the video that is for illustration purposes only. And again, pick your favorite and continue. After you've created a short musical piece, typically around 1 or 2 minutes long, save it as a MIDI file for further processing. For reference, I always save it as MP3 as well. One trick to create more musical material that is related harmonically, yet different, is to restart MuseNet as an earlier position by clicking on that small curved arrow. You can also switch composers in case MuseNet gets stuck in a particular phrase. I often start and restart MuseNet or switch composer style many dozens of times, until I get enough and diverse enough material for the actual composition in the notation software. Well, save and save often. MuseNet has bugs and sometimes crashes or reloads and everything's gone. Because of its memory leaks, it is better to run it in a separate browser.